Good morning, podcast. I hope you're having an amazing day. Today, I've got with me a special guest on the podcast. His name is Liam. Liam, welcome to the podcast. That's going to be in a second. So Liam is known as 7th on Instagram and on YouTube. And he's been popping up lately with a ton of great content around street photography, around portrait photography. And in this episode, we'll be digging into how did he get started, but most importantly, and that's what I want each and every one of you to listen to, how does he overcome some fears, for example, either of creating or being in front of strangers shooting? What is in his mindset when he goes and shoot? Because at the end of the day, if you want to create awesome content, if you want to progress in your life, the only thing that matters is the mindset and how you approach those situations. On top of that, we'll also be digging a little bit into what style does he prefer in street photography and in portraits, and how does he find his models. I think that might be helpful for a bunch of you guys if you've ever thought of trying model photography. That will be very helpful. Now, with that being said, guys, I'm not going to make that intro too long. Check him out on Instagram and on YouTube at 7th's. And with no further ado, let's get right into it because I think this episode is dope. So let's get started. Let's welcome Liam to the podcast. No, wait. I forgot, guys. Please, before we get started, share this podcast. If you like it, tag me in your Instagram stories, send it on Twitter, send it to your friend, dog, cat, grandmother, whoever you want. But I want you to spread the word and leave it a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much. Love you all. Now let's get started. Welcome to the podcast, Liam.
Thank you. It is good to be here. It's even though I'm not actually there, it's like across the other side of the world, but thanks anyway.
It's what we call e-meeting, right?
E-meeting. I think this is the first time that I've ever done a podcast, but I haven't been there, like e-podcast. I've never done one before.
Oh, really? Yeah, I kind of, it's an easy way for me to access way more people than I would be able if I had to travel or be next to them.
Oh yeah, of course.
So Liam, just give us a little bit of context right now. Where are you sitting, standing? What have you done today?
So currently right now I'm sitting in an apartment in Singapore. I've got like this, you know, those circular cushions? It's like a cylinder cushion that's got that on the chair. And I'm just looking out my hotel view. It's got like all the traffic down there. And the cool thing about Singapore is like I'm looking out the window, I can see all the yellow lines on the road. And if you're a photographer, you know that the yellow lines on the road equal good photos, especially when it's raining. So I always look out for that sort of stuff when I'm traveling. But today we didn't really do much because we were filming the photo battle yesterday. So we're just chilling out today. I got some lunch and now we're going to go film some more videos tonight.
That's awesome. Yeah. How do you guys, or at least yourself, Liam, how do you approach photo battles? I'm kind of curious. So, and let's give a little bit of context to anyone listening who doesn't know, because they might know my 10-minute challenges that I do on the channel, but I'm not sure if they know your 10-minute battle, your battle. So give us a little bit of context.
Yeah, sure. So the photo battle, for anyone who doesn't know, is pretty much, it's me, Mike, and Hayden Pedersen, and we all go out and pretty much have to take 3 photos each, and whoever gets the best photo, which is voted by our audience on our Instagram stories, whoever gets the most votes wins and gets a prize, and whoever loses has to do something we create some sort of consequence for the loser. Like last one, they had to jump in the water. But for this one, we're in Singapore, and pretty much the time starts, say, at 5 o'clock, and then we have 3 hours to go out and take all the photos, and then it finishes at 8 p.m. And then anyone who's later is disqualified. What else? Have I missed anything?
No, I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. So I'm kind of curious what's your creative process? Because it applies for the photo battles because it's cool. You have a time constraint, but maybe in general, do you go out with like some ideas already before you start, or are you like a blank state when it starts?
That's a good question because it's so like I'm still very new to YouTube. Like I still feel like. Well, I don't feel like I know that I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, I don't know, people might think, he knows like his videos, like he knows what he's doing with photography, but I really don't. I just guess. Like my creative process when I first started YouTube about just under 2 years ago. My creative process was I would pretty much not script my vlogs, but I would have a certain layout. So I'd have like film an intro, then have B-roll, then have talking about what I want to do, then B-roll, and like it was very, very rigid in my structure. And then as I hung out with Hayden a bit more, like because he'd been doing YouTube for a lot longer than me,
Mhm.
he told me like different ideas and like how story works in vlogs, how to be better at storytelling. And now my process is pretty much just whatever the vlog is, I'll have one goal, and that's it. I don't plan anything outside of that. So, for example, my most recent video was I wanted to create a cinematograph or like a looping video, and I knew that I wanted there to be rain in that video, and like I wanted to fake the rain, and that's it. So I like to set the goal at the start of the video and say, yo, what's going on? This is what I want to do in today's video. And then I just go out and I document. I don't plan anything, nothing's planned. I just document whatever happens. And then I come home at the end and then I talk about what happened and whether I achieved my goal or whether I didn't achieve it. And that's pretty much it. It's just like the three axis structure for like all storytelling. You have a goal, there's like the climax, and then like the resolution. So
That
that's
that's
how I do
great.
it.
That's a good structure. I remember, I think the first times I ever saw Hayden's video, I did pick
Yeah.
up. He has a similar structure, at least for some of the videos with the photos. I remember seeing that. I was like, that's actually fun way to do it.
Yeah.
Um, I'm kind of curious in terms of photos now. When you have those battles and you're
Yeah.
let loose in the wild, do you like run with your head like I want to capture this and this, or you're like I'm just gonna improvise?
Well, it depends. Like when it depends on the photo battle and the rules, but like for this one, because it was in Singapore and I have no idea like where I am or anything, I did all the research before, so I had three locations that I knew I wanted to go to, and that's all. That's all though. I didn't know if I could actually get into those locations because, like, you'll see when the photo battle was posted, like we came into some problems and everything, but. I it depends. Like I like to plan it so that because there's a time limit, I don't want to have to miss out on getting a photo or anything like that. I want to make sure that I can get at least three photos because 3 hours sounds like a lot of time, but when you've got to get a taxi there, by the time you get to the location, get your camera gear out, compose a photo, figure out how to get to the next location, it goes like in a click, like it's super fast. But it depends. Like in the LA photo battle where we just walked around the Santa Monica one, sorry, I was just like getting creative with it. Like I didn't have any plan of anything. But it's funny, like whenever the photo battle comes up, like me, Mike and Hayden or whoever's participating in it, we literally like we become enemies. Like it's almost to the it's not unhealthy competition, but it's like we literally don't talk to each other like the hours leading up to it, we're like, no one shows each other our phones. Like we're hiding from each other because we're all trying to research. And like there's a lot of tension that arises in the group, but it's all for like a good cause. Like we're all helping each other grow at the end of the day. And like, it doesn't really matter who wins. It's all fun. It's all for the video.
That's awesome, and it sounds like a good like game with friends.
Yeah.
Like when the game is on, like no one's friends anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think it's important to have that healthy competition, especially if you're trying to grow in like whatever industry it is, whether you're like, doesn't have to necessarily be just the creative industry. It can be any industry as long as you have like other people around you who are like willing to push you and like, healthy competition. Like you're always trying to one up each other. That's how you grow.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's if you hang out with people who are your level or under, it's going to be difficult. So if no one's pushing you to actually get better, that's going to be problematic. What would you say was the one moment you felt like you really got better with your photography?
Ooh, one moment. Oh, it's hard. It's one of those things I feel like, man. It's like you you don't realize how much you've improved until you stop and like look back at your photos. You know what I mean? Like it's not
Yeah.
like one day you're shit and the next day you're like professional and like taking bangers and you're like, fuck yeah. It's like can I swear on this podcast by the way or not?
Yeah, go ahead. No worries.
Okay, cool, cool. Um, yeah, so I think the moment, um, I don't think there was a specific moment. I think once I started, because I used to shoot by myself a lot, and then Mike, who's known as North Borders as well, he sent me a Instagram message when I was about 16. I'm 20 now. He sent me a message on Instagram, and he was like, "Hey, bro, like." You want to shoot? And I didn't know who he was or anything like that. I had no idea who he was. All I knew that he was some guy from Melbourne, which is where we live, and his name was North Borders on Instagram. I thought he was like from the northern suburbs, so I was like really suspicious. I was like, oh, so I brought my friend with me just in case this North Borders guy tried to rob me, like and take all my camera gear. So I met up with him and then that's when I met Mike and then ever since that day we've just become like best mates and just always shot together and always like helped each other grow. So I'd say the moment or the thing that helped me get better was shooting with someone else who has the same goal as me and we just grow together. That's the best way to grow as a photographer.
That's awesome. Yeah, teamwork is totally underestimated, especially in our
Oh
photography
yeah.
world. I don't know why, but I always had that vision of like photographers are being very individualistic in the sense that it's one person and it's kind of like we were talking with Hayden, like there's that ego thing about, oh, it's my photo, I
Yeah.
took it. Yet I feel that you really progress when you're together, when it's not just one person. And who cares
Yeah.
who takes the photo, you know?
Dude, 100%. Like, I think, especially like in the whole Instagram and YouTube community, I feel like people take photography way too seriously. Like, like it's okay to take it seriously, like if it's your job and like, you know, there's a difference between taking it seriously and then like getting like all egotistical about oh this is my shot, I created this style, like that's my style, this guy's copying my photos. It's like dude, it's photography, just have fun with it. Like that's what I really want to push with my channel. Like photography isn't some serious thing like that you have to be a professional, you have to have fancy gear. Like everyone should do it. You should just go out and have fun with your friends and like be stupid and just take photos of like whatever you want. Like that's like when photography becomes fun. But like I don't know, I feel like in the Instagram and YouTube community, there's a lot of like I don't know what the word is. I think it's like it's obviously it's like egos, but it's more so like
People are being posh about it.
yeah, yeah, I think, and it's also people have this sense of like entitlement. So like if they take a certain photo and then they see someone else take a certain photo, instead of being like, oh, like this guy's got an inspiration from me, they go, oh, this guy copied my style, and then everyone shits on them. It's like, bro, it's okay to be inspired. Like I can tell you right now, a lot of my shots I don't come up with. Like I see them on Instagram and I go, that's cool. I want to take a photo like that. And that's how it should be. Like, nothing's original nowadays. You just gotta if you can be inspired by someone and then put your own twist on it, that's the best thing you can do.
You know, I'm gonna highlight something here to anyone listening. What you're saying is so on point right now, especially for anyone who is not a professional. And the way I'm saying it is, and why I'm saying that is because now, when you're saying that, it reminds me of when I was not, I never did it as a pro. I remember I was just like recreating photos that I liked,
Yeah.
or I was looking at stuff that I liked, and I was having fun doing that. Now, the moment maybe I stepped up the professional part, it changed a little bit. Things because I had clients, and obviously I couldn't like give to a client what another photographer would shoot exactly. So
Yeah.
you had to go away from that, which sometimes is cool, but sometimes also you miss the fun part of just like playing around and being like, I'm inspired, I want to do this. And I really, really enjoy what you're saying right now. And I hope it will kind of
get everyone to chill about that
Yeah,
aspect
man.
of like,
Literally.
oh, invent that photo. So who the fuck cares? Because at the
Yeah,
end of the
like,
day, inventing anything.
exactly, bro. Like it's it's so funny to see. Like I actually laugh when I see people who are like, "Oh, like that's my photo." It's like, dude, you took a photo of fucking like water splashing. Like that's not your photo. It's like it's fucking water. Chill out. You know what I mean? Like
You know, if you
I
go
don't
back
know.
in time enough, you will see those concepts already done on film anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. I just love having fun with it all. Yeah.
That's awesome. I think like pushing the fun aspect of photography is the most important. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure you do get comments about, oh, you're not doing it right, or you shouldn't use your camera like that. Always
Yeah.
makes me smile. Like I'm like, dude, I'm getting the shots I want. I'm having fun. There's no one that should me tell anything to anyone about
No,
what.
dude. I think another thing as well, in terms of like if we're talking about comments and stuff, like I feel like I want to like for example, if I post a photo, like recently I've been getting a lot of comments and it's sort of a meme. Like I know no one says it seriously, maybe some people do, but it's all fun and games. It's like people say, "Oh, your photos are too blue," because I do put a lot of blues in my photos, but it's because I like that. Like that's just what
Yeah.
I like. So the whole idea behind that is if someone comments something on your photo, for example, if it's oh that's too blue, and then if I went oh and then if I changed my photos to like a different edit because of what people were saying, that's not me. Like I want to create an audience of people who like the same shit as me. So if I'm only gonna ever post what I like to post because I want to gain an audience of people who like like the same shit as me and who want to follow the same things as I do, have the same interests, because that's like it's a bit more niche. Whereas if you're always trying to like change for what people are saying in your comments, like it's like what do you do? What do you actually do? What sort of content do you create?
Do you remember of a time maybe where comments or like other people's feedback affected your photography or even like your videos and how you dealt with it?
Um, it's I think like because when you're like first starting out in photography, I feel like you don't, or well, my experience was like I never really got that much hate. I feel like sort of negative, not even hate, just like negative comments and like people criticizing you comes more when you have a larger audience, purely because like more people see your stuff and they feel like they can sort of just put their opinion out there, which is fine because it's all subjective at the end of the day. Like it actually might look shit to that person, and that's fine. But um, I'm trying to think, man. Like not really, because I don't really care about what some random stranger says on the internet. Like I don't really let it affect me because I just don't care about their opinion. Like why would I put someone else's opinion who I don't even know, who I don't even know what they look like or sound like or what they do in their life? Why would I let their opinion have an effect on me? Like maybe it'd be different if it was like Mike or Hayden saying something like, "Yo, dude, you should probably stop doing this in your videos." I would take that into consideration, but some random on the internet, dude, no way. Like that's like the biggest thing that people are scared to create cringe content or express themselves because they think other people are going to judge them. And it's like, dude, like the cool thing about YouTube is the more weird you are, it's good. Like being weird on YouTube is cool. Expressing yourself is good. Like
Well,
I
I'm
don't.
just YouTube, man, not just YouTube. YouTube is just the window to the world where you can have a window, but being weird and owning it in life is awesome.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah, especially in life. But yeah, like you said, if we're talking about like YouTube and like getting hate comments, like, dude, just be yourself. And like at the end of the day, just you can never put someone else's opinion like and values before your own. So like, just block them out. Like, who cares?
100%,
Yeah,
100%. It's it's.
that's what I do. But like, what
Do you
about you?
do you feel? Well, I'm gonna ask you, and I'm gonna tell you after because I feel like, do you feel that being getting that role of like I hate the word, but like influencer on social media, meaning getting an audience through YouTube, through Instagram. Do you feel that actually that gave you that awareness, or do you think you had it before?
What gave me that awareness is actually Hayden. Like Hayden has been like a huge inspiration and like mentor through like me being a YouTuber, because I can tell you right now, I would not be like where I am or have the subscribers or any of that stuff. Like obviously like the subscribers and stuff, like I don't place focus on it, but at the end of the day, like I wouldn't be able to create the sort of videos that I do without Hayden, because he's just got the best mindset when it comes to like all this sort of stuff. Like, so I'd say definitely when I started YouTube, I was really self-conscious and I was like, fuck, like I got to refilm this same intro. Like sometimes I'd film the intro 10 times just to get it perfect. But now if I fuck up, I fuck up. I just put it in the video. It's funny. Like I don't care.
Right.
But yeah, I'd say that mentality definitely came from Hayden and just hanging around with him. But, you know, if you can watch our content, hopefully, like, you know, I want people to be able to watch our content and then gain that from watching it.
That is so important. So to answer your question, back in September 2018, so about a little bit over a year ago, I made a video, and it was, I can't remember the title, but anyway, it's a video on the photography channel, and I was just getting like slightly peeved by all the people asking me for feedback just because somehow I had gained some kind of audience on YouTube and then on Instagram. People decided that I should be a reference for feedback on photos. Wow. And although I appreciate the compliment, you know, that thinking my opinion is valuable to them, I made a video just telling people it doesn't matter. Like literally, the only thing you should care about is if you like your photo, and if you do, no one else should ever be able to take that down. No one else.
Exactly, bro.
Way. It's a privilege. You should own it. You should keep it. Being able to love something that you create is such an honor that no one, that even your mother, shouldn't let take that away from you. You know?
Yeah, 100%.
And so I made that short video, and I always like to refer people to it, or any time people ask for feedback, I just tell them, well, first tell me if you like your photo. Second, tell me what you tried to create and what you think you didn't achieve. And then we can start talking. It's not a question of, I like your image. It's cool, bro. And then that's it, you know?
Dude, that is like, I'd say that's not 50. I reckon that's 30% of my DMs is, hey, bro, can you critique my photos? It's like, dude, like, why does my opinion matter? Like, and I get it, man. I honestly understand it, because people just want to know, like, whether their photos are good, especially when you're a beginner. But like, as you grow as a photographer, you realize that no one's opinion matters apart from your own. And if you think it looks good, then that's that. You should just post it.
Yeah, and I think we have the same DMs.
Yeah, literally, like. All of my DMs are that. And I don't reply to any of them because it doesn't matter. Like, my opinion means nothing. Like, you shouldn't change your style of photography because me, 7th year Liam, some random guy on the internet, thinks your photo's good or bad. Like, it just, everyone's different.
100%. So to anyone listening, just make sure you like your shit. If you don't like it, well, work on it. Make it better.
Yeah. If you don't like it, look at your photo and be like, all right, why don't I like it? Or look at someone else's photo who you do like and go, all right, what has he done? Has he put some colors in the shadows? I'm going to try that on my next photo. Has he done a low angle? Has he used a wide lens? Like, what has he done? And how can I put that into my style? That's how you should focus on finding your style and getting better.
Absolutely. And the one thing I will say is that if you come to any photographer that you admire and you show him photos that you tried and you're able to tell him what you tried, how you fell short, that person will be very happy to help in most cases, unless it's a douche. But if you come and be like, hey, what do you think of my photos? That just means nothing.
No, it's just they're sort of looking for like external validation, which is the worst thing to do.
Absolutely. Let's switch gear a little bit, and I want to talk about something, because you made a video. When was it? Like one of your video went absolutely bonkers lately, which is really cool.
Oh
And
yeah,
congrats, man! And it
thanks,
was
man.
you portraits, and
Yeah,
it just got me thinking. I remember when I was starting, and even later on when I was moving around, I was like, what's the best way to find models? Like how do you approach that when you need to
models.
find? Yeah.
Um, Dude, it can be really hard sometimes. Like I even like because a lot of the time, if you have a lot of followers, like the reality is, if you have a lot of followers, a model is gonna like more likely want to shoot with you, not necessarily for clout or like all that shit, because I hate all those words, but more so because it's a bit more trustworthy than some random guy who has got like 100 followers. If you know what I mean.
I
I'm
see.
just shooting straight here. But even still, bro, I find it hard. The way I find models, like that model, her name's Terry in that video. I just asked one of my friends who does portraits. I'm like, hey, do you have any models who would want to shoot with me? And he goes, yep, here. This is like their Instagram, and that's how I found her. But like, dude, you can go on the hashtag, say Paris model. That's a great way, or wherever you're from, just start hashtag then model. But other than that, man, if you're in the photography industry and you have some mates who shoot models, I would say just go through them. But if you're a beginner and you don't know anyone, you have no idea, like you don't know any models, there's definitely Facebook pages as well. Like there's one called Melbourne, like where I'm from in Australia, Melbourne Creative Network, Melbourne Photographers and Models, like heaps of pages, bro. There's so many ways to find a model. You just got to go and look.
That's cool. When you and once you let's say like found a few people, do you actually give them the whole concept you want to shoot before, or
Nah, nah,
no?
never. I don't, purely because I don't think the model really cares about your concept. They're just there to model. Like, unless you're doing like some weird shoot, like, you know, that might involve, something dangerous, or for them to do something like, I don't know, risky or something like that, then maybe like tell them. But like the way I usually do it, I'll just say, hey, are you free to model next week? And if they say yes, then I just say, all right, cool, this is my idea. And I'll just say it in like a sentence or two. Like, I'll just go, oh, yeah, I'm thinking of doing like a rain looping video. Are you
Okay.
cool with that? Always make sure like the model's cool with it though before, because you don't want to like just have the model come up and then you just throw your idea on them and then
Yeah.
make them feel uncomfortable, because that's the worst thing you could ever do. Like you don't never want to make the model feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But
The photo's gonna look like shit anyway.
yeah, exactly.
It's
But
gonna
no,
look.
I don't just tell them like my full idea in like a fucking essay format. No,
Yeah.
I just say it in like a sentence, and then if they want to shoot, cool. If they don't, well, I'll find another model, because it's not that hard to.
Got it. Well, if you had to shoot like just one thing for the rest of your life, would you actually shoot models and portraits, or would you do street photography?
Oh, fuck. um, Dude, uh, it's so hard, because if you were to ask me this question like 2 years ago, I would say only street photography,
Hmm.
but because I would never shoot models or anything. But recently I've loved shooting models. But like, I think I would say street photography, purely because there is an element of portraiture in street photography. Like you can just go up to randoms and say, "Yo, I'm going to take a photo of you," and then go take a photo. So I'd say street photography, purely because in that you've got car photography, portraits, landscapes. Like there's so many different types of photography in that one sub-genre, whatever you want to call it.
That's true. That's probably what I would have answered too.
You would say that
Uh,
as well?
yeah, I like models, but I get bored really quickly. If you've ever seen any of my videos, that's why I like you guys too, because you guys are fairly active, I would say, and energized.
Yeah.
And I'm the same way, so I get bored like fairly quickly.
Yeah.
And so modeling is fun, but I feel like street photography, even if I'm bored, I can just start doing 100-meter sprint and be like, how many photos can I take running 100 meters? I don't know. I
Yeah,
can find so many dumb ideas that will make a shoot fun.
exactly.
Need anything external to make it happen.
No. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Yeah, like sometimes trying to rely on a model can be hard because I've had a couple of times where a model has cancelled on me, like on the day, like, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It just depends on the model, obviously, but like street photography, there's no excuses. You just go out and shoot.
Someone will show up in the street unless it's a zombie day.
Yeah, well, even if there's no one, it'll still look cool. Cyberpunk.
Yeah, true. How do you approach it actually, your street photography? Are you like, what would you define your style as? Like in your face, sneaky, mixed?
Dude, I never want to have a style. Like maybe I have an editing style, but like, dude, I if you look at my Instagram feed, it's fucked. Like sometimes I post a photo of like a sunset, sometimes it's like a close up of someone's face. Like it's whatever. Like I don't want to pigeonhole myself by saying I have a style because I feel
But
like
what about the way you shoot? I think
the way I
like
shoot
the
street
way you shoot
photography.
street photography. Yeah, you know how like some people are literally
Yeah,
creeping on people like and with a
yeah,
white girl and suddenly like shove it in their face and say
yeah,
nothing and run away.
yeah.
Uh, so that's
What?
what I would
Yeah,
call creepy. Then there is
yeah,
sneaky where you just like long lens and like get a few shots, or there is like
yeah.
literally the guy that just walks to everyone. Well,
Mm.
what would you?
Once again, it changes. I love shooting 70 to 200 because I can get those nice far away shots and I don't have to talk to anyone or look at anyone. I can just snipe them, just like psh, 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 take all these photos. But recently, like I've been loving the Sigma 35 millimeter f1.4. Like that is so sharp, and I like just I like getting photos of people as they're walking past. I'll just quickly put the camera up and go like take some burst photos of them walking by. Just people like sitting down, really just anything, man. But like a mixture of 70 to 200 and 35 millimeter. They're my go-to for street photography for sure.
Got it. Do you have any tips for people who are a little bit shy? Because I get that a lot because I do a bunch of street photography content.
Yeah.
I get a bunch of people telling me, "Yeah, I'm really shy. I just can't get the camera out in front of other people, or I'm super afraid to
Mm.
ask them for photos." Do you have
Yeah,
any
no. I would say if you maybe like try find someone to go and shoot with because that will make it easier and less daunting. The other thing is honestly, like, dude, no one really cares. Like, if you take a photo of someone, they might get uncomfortable for like 5 seconds, but they'll forget about it in a minute. Like, you've just got to push past that zone of like feeling nervous and going out and shooting in public and just you just got to say fuck it, I don't care, I'm just going to go out and do it. I'm like that's my mentality with everything. Like I'm not really empathetic, like like I'm empathetic but I don't like, dude, like if you can go out, if you're an able-bodied human and you can walk and everything, you have no excuses to go out to not go out and do street photography. Like if you can find someone else to do it with, maybe, but like, dude, just go out, don't be afraid. No one, if someone asks you to delete a photo, just delete it. It's fine. Like they're not going to
yeah?
attack you or anything. Just have your wits about you. Just be a bit street smart. But like, I don't know. I think it helps when you shoot with someone else as well.
Yeah, it definitely helps. I mean, it makes it a lot less awkward, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Like the last video I just shot yesterday, it was me with the GoPro and the camera. Thank God I didn't have two cameras that day, but like all around the streets, and it does feel a little bit awkward when you get like closer to people. So
Yeah.
if you have a friend, it just seems normal, and you're like, I
Yeah.
don't care. I'm a little bit in the mode where I don't care. Even if I had five cameras on me, I still would not give a damn about what people think. So
Yeah.
that's, I think, anyone who gets that or has it is a good advantage. Speaking
Yeah.
of being able to walk and not having excuses to do street photography, I want to remind everyone in the audience that probably doesn't know, but someone watching the channel actually commented a few times that that person is handicapped and is in a wheelchair, but still goes out and shoots on a regular basis.
Exactly, man. One of
Dude,
yeah, sorry, go on.
No, I was just like, yes.
Yeah, dude, that's the thing. Like, I met a fan. His name is Taylor. He came up to us at VidCon Australia, and we were just chilling out with him. He's in a wheelchair, but he still goes out and does photography. Like, dude, like I think a lot of people need to have perspective. Like, I've got a pretty I've got a pretty good. Like, I live in Australia. You know, like my country's not in a war or anything. You know, like when you really put it into perspective, like going out and doing street photography, not doing it because you're nervous. It's like, dude, come on, like, you fucking serious? Like, just go out. Like, that's why I feel like a lot of people lack that perspective and like take for granted what they have, and just put all these excuses like, oh, I'm nervous. It's like, dude, just you're safe, you're fine, nothing's gonna happen. Just go out, shoot, and like you'll be fine. That's my mentality anyway.
Yeah, I think it's something big, and especially I don't know how parents can affect it, and I'm sure they have a way of affecting like the social anxiety level of their kids as they grow up and their confidence. But definitely me as being now a father, which is kind of fun to say.
That's so cool.
I want to make sure that I distill that confidence into kids, because the last thing I want is for them to be crippled by those things. And again, if you're in that situation where you feel like you can't get out, you can't talk to people, or you can't just go out and shoot, it's just something you can totally change, right? It's you can change everything in your life.
Dude,
you're
is all up to you. Yeah. Like, the funniest thing that a lot of people don't think about is that you're going to die. Like, you're not always going to be on this earth. Like, it's pretty funny. Like, it's a meme. It is actually a meme. Like, you're going to die one day. Like, people forget that a lot. And they think that, we're always going to be here on earth. It's like, dude, you might not be here tomorrow. Like, just go out and shoot. Go out and do that weird photography idea that you've always wanted to do. Like, whatever it is, just, I don't know, just go out and do it, because you're not going to be here one day.
That is very true. And I had some funny experience like a few months ago, I would say. And it made me realize also very much, and that's what I even put, I think, somewhere on Instagram one day. I was like, or in an email, so it's a newsletter, and I was like, you actually live in the universe you create. So meaning we're literally all, Julian and I, we're literally on the same planet, but we're living in two different universes, like completely different. Like everything that you see has a different interpretation that is based on your experiences. And you can decide to change that anytime, and you can work towards it. I'm not saying it's easy, because nothing in life is that easy, but nothing prevents you from doing that. And shifting your view of your own world actually changes your world. And I just thought it was kind of cool, because I had that perspective where I could experience almost living through different people, even close relative like my parents or whatever. And I was like, fuck, it's so impressive how different actually the universe or your world looks like when you're someone else. Exactly. So it's just a reminder that although we're in the same room, we're not in the same universe.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I agree with that. It's all about your attitude. Like, that's, your attitude is everything. Like, and don't get me wrong, like I am not perfect. I'm like, far from that. No one is perfect. Like, I still have my days where I'm like, fuck, I don't want to film a video today. Like, can't be fucked. Like, I just want to lie in bed all day. Like, some days where I feel like, then I have some days where I feel really happy and I'm like really excited to go out and create. But like, the reality is, no one's ever happy all the time. You're not 100% happy. That's unrealistic. Like, if you're gonna feel shit some days, you just got to accept it. Like, and move on and just be like, okay, I feel like shit, but I'm still going to do this because I love it. And like, in the long run, it doesn't matter.
It's part of the process. Just like one day your camera will break, or you will put the memory card, or it will get corrupted. That's
exactly
fine. Just get over it. It's part of not enjoy, but appreciate having the ability to experience it. Because if you don't, you're probably dead, and and keep on going.
Exactly.
That's awesome, man. I kind of want to I have a bunch more questions I want to ask, but I want to be mindful with your time. I know you guys have a ton of things to shoot and edit still while you're in Singapore.
Yeah.
So I think this is a great place to wrap up. I just want to ask you if can we do our 10-minute challenges? Are you up for it?
Can we do what, sorry?
Are you up for 10-minute challenges?
Like now?
No, not now, but like whenever we meet.
Oh, yeah.
I've had that. People started DMing me, and when are you doing the 10-minute challenge with North Border, 7th Era, and Hayden?
Yeah, I'm like the 10-minute challenge on your channel, right?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah, 100% we'll do it. I'll beat you, but we'll do
it. We'll see about that.
Yeah, we will.
It's 10 minutes. That's really short.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, cool, Liam. Thank you so much. Can you tell people maybe where? So two things. I'd like to ask the guest if they can share maybe one creative idea that people can shoot this weekend or this week. Do you have something simple?
Yes, I do. So what I want you to do, if you're listening, what you're going to do is go around your house, find 5 random props. It could be a glass, it could be a mug, it could be some sunglasses, whatever it is. Just find 5 random props from your house, go out and shoot, and you have to use those props in the photos. That's my challenge.
That's good. I like that. That's easy enough to do.
Yeah, because anyone can do it.
Yes, exactly. Anyone has a place with props. That's awesome. Liam, where should people come find you online?
Online, it's anywhere. It's 7th Era, so the number 7 th.era, 7th Era.
Where does that come from, by the way?
I just thought it sounded cool. Like, I just compiled 2 word lists of words that I liked, and I'm like, yep, 7th Era sounds good enough. That's my name. Now I'm 7th Era.
Oh my God. Okay, cool. That's a good story.
Yeah.
Let's make stuff that sounds cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you, Liam. Everyone, go check out Liam on YouTube, Instagram, everywhere, and give him some love. And remember to get out and shoot. Liam, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bam. And that's it, guys. That's how you record a great podcast. No matter what you were doing, cooking, washing your car, walking with your dog, taking care of your baby, or simply working. I hope you enjoyed that conversation. Remember, go check out Liam on Instagram, on YouTube. And most importantly, if you liked it, share it, tag both of us on your Instagram stories. And with no further ado, guys, get out there, go shoot, try something different, try something new. Also, let me know if I should go to Australia to go shoot with those guys. See ya.